The mobile phone is the biggest gaming platform in the world, and there are now thousands of different controllers made for your phone. The problem is that a lot of mobile games don't support those controllers, which can be very frustrating if that is what you were looking for. So here are the top mobile games with controller support for 2026. The first game on our list is Wall of Insanity 2, a third-person shooter set in a hostile dimension beyond reality, defined by decay, isolation, and a constant sense of threat. You assume the role of the sole surviving officer after a failed police raid on a cult leads the squad into a supernatural trap. Combat is more active than before, with smarter and more aggressive enemies pushing you to play carefully. Resources are limited, so every bullet, heal, and movement choice matters. Environmental storytelling plays a major role, supported by cutscenes, dialogue, and collectible diaries that reveal the tragic fate of the missing squad. Subnautica is a story-driven underwater survival game set on an alien ocean planet. After crash landing, you're left alone to explore, survive, and uncover the planet's secrets. The world is fully open and entirely underwater, filled with coral reefs, thermal vents, deep sea caverns, and bioluminescent life. From the first dive, the game builds a strong sense of isolation and discovery. Your survival depends on managing food, water, and oxygen. You gather resources to craft tools, build underwater bases, and create vehicles to travel farther and deeper. Environmental storytelling is a major part of the experience. You'll find wreckage, data logs, and clues pointing to the fate of previous visitors and the truth behind your crash. Besiege Mobile is a physics-based building game that lets you make machines and see if they actually work. You start with basic blocks and slowly learn how weight, force, and balance behave. The goal is simple: break things, reach targets, do not fall apart first. The campaign provides clear objectives across destructible levels, which gently teach mechanics while encouraging wild ideas. Sandbox modes remove restrictions entirely and turn the game into a testing ground for imagination. It's a very fun game, though it can become a bit repetitive. No Way Home is a twin-stick shooter by SMG Studio with fast combat, sharp movement, and a strong sense of momentum. Set in a dangerous corner of space, you take on enemies in open environments, using cover, positioning, and timing to survive. A regenerating shield gives you a chance to be aggressive without being reckless, while varied weapons and ship parts allow you to build out your own combat style over time. The game's procedural universe blends handcrafted missions and events with random generation, making each run feel distinct but intentional. Levelhead is a platformer with a strong level editor. The campaign features 90+ handcrafted levels, teaching mechanics while offering a solid challenge. The GR18 delivery robot handles smoothly with precise controls. The level editor is where the game shines. Hundreds of tools allow players to craft anything from classic platformers to puzzles, boss battles, or even pinball-style stages. Multiplayer and competition add replayability. Levels have leaderboards pushing players to speedrun or maximize scores. Visually, the game is colorful and polished. The humor is light but adds charm. ThroneFall is a tower defense strategy game where you build and defend a tiny kingdom. You start with just your castle, a bit of gold, and a bunch of empty land. Build a mill for income, drop some walls or towers, then prepare for nightfall. Enemies pour in from all sides, and you have to defend with whatever you manage to build. You fight alongside your troops using a sword or bow, depending on how you spec your build. Each night gets harder. Each day you rebuild, adjust your strategy, and try again. It is just a fantastic tower defense game, and it does everything very well. Deep Rock Galactic Survivor reworks the original series into a single-player top-down auto shooter, while keeping the focus on mining, danger, and steady pressure from hostile creatures. One dwarf enters the caves of Hoxes with basic tools and a clear goal to complete mission objectives, gather resources, and survive long enough to reach extraction. Weapons fire automatically, so attention shifts toward movement, positioning, and equipment upgrades. Wreckfest places you in the driver's seat of a variety of vehicles and challenges your skills in piloting them without allowing them to be reduced to a pile of wreckage. The game modes available in Wreckfest span from intense destruction derby-style gameplay, where your goal is to obliterate your opponent's vehicles and be the last one standing, to intricate obstacle courses that demand precision navigation through challenging tracks without succumbing to explosions. Adding to the game's appeal is the extensive selection of vehicles, which includes a wide variety of cars, trucks, and dune buggies. This diverse lineup of vehicles provides players with numerous options to unleash vehicular mayhem on the tracks. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is a 2D platformer where you play as Sargon, slicing through cursed creatures creatures and dodging traps in a massive Persian-inspired world filled with secrets. It leans hard into Metroidvania with unlockable powers, puzzle platforming, and backtracking that feels rewarding. Combat mixes quick slashes with time powers and skill-based dodges. You can chain combos, use special moves, and shift around enemies in ways that keep battles from going stale. Time powers aren't just flashy, they're woven into how you fight and explore. ScourgeBringer presents a unique blend of gaming genres that defies conventional classification. Primarily, it is a roguelike game, which means it involves substantial meta progression between runs, emphasizing the goal of clearing as many rooms as possible before inevitably succumbing to the game's challenges, only to rise and try again. The game also features fluid shooting combined with Metroidvania mechanics and melee combat. The core gameplay of ScourgeBringer bears a resemblance to a 2D platformer, albeit intensified with action and remarkable speed. You engage in fierce combat against a diverse range of adversaries and formidable bosses that occupy entire rooms. The progression revolves around room-to-room navigation, offering a straightforward yet demanding premise. Greak is another great title, a hand-drawn puzzle platformer centered on exploration, problem-solving, and quiet storytelling. The narrative follows three siblings separated by an invasion that has fractured their homeland. Progress depends on switching between the siblings, each with distinct abilities that are required to navigate environments, overcome obstacles, and unlock new areas. Their interactions form the foundation of both the gameplay and the story. Phantom Tower is a fast-paced action roguelike that blends RPG mechanics with a focused floor-by-floor progression system. The goal is to climb through all 100 levels of the tower, each one more dangerous than the last. Combat is driven by elemental interactions. Each class has access to different elements, and combining them can trigger powerful reactions. It's a great dungeon crawler and a good free-to-play experience. Grand Mountain Adventure 2 is an open-world skiing and snowboarding game with massive explorable ski resorts. Ride the lifts, navigate crowded slopes or untouched backcountry, and discover secret spots hidden in the mountains. The non-linear design lets you carve your own path, whether you stick to the piece or venture off trail. Realistic mountain environments include changing conditions, wind, snowfall, avalanches, and a day-night cycle. Other skiers, rolling rocks, and dynamic slope physics make the world feel alive. Exoloper is a portrait shooter throwing you into mech combat with 10-meter exosuits and no time to waste. Terrain isn't just for looks, everything explodes, collapses, or gets torn apart depending on your loadout. Cities, forests, and wastelands react to every missile and stomp, with day and weather shifts adding extra chaos. Campaign missions take you across your shattered homeworld to drive out the Commonwealth. You clear enemy forces from industrial zones or backwoods territory, one firefight at a time. Every mission becomes a risk, win big or lose your loot if you don't make it to extraction. The game is a lot of fun and very much a hidden gem. Juicy Realm is a roguelite experience where players find themselves immersed in a future where monstrous fruit reigns supreme. In this world, plants have ascended to the top of the food chain, leaving humanity scrambling for survival against their formidable foes. As a player, you embark on a perilous journey deep into the heart of the plant empire, where you'll face relentless waves of deadly fruit at every turn. Armed with an array of weapons, your task is to fend off these fruity adversaries while scavenging for valuable resources and gear to aid in your fight. I Am Your Beast is a fast-paced first-person shooter where you engage in a high-stakes covert revenge thriller as Alphonse Harding, a retired secret agent forced into a brutal guerrilla war against the Covert Operations Initiative. Turn the tables on your enemies using their own gear, crafting ingenious traps, and exploiting a network of hidden tunnels. Superhuman abilities like rapid tree climbing and devastating headshots add a fast-paced edge to the action. The campaign spans 20+ levels with comic book-inspired visuals and has very fun gunplay. El Paso Elsewhere is a mobile port of the third-person shooter that combines fast-paced action with a gripping narrative, immersing players in a world of intense action and eerie atmosphere. Set in a bizarre reality-shifting motel in El Paso, Texas, players must fight their way through floors filled with a variety of dangerous supernatural creatures, including werewolves, fallen angels, and other cursed beings. With its vivid and stylish depiction of intense gunfights, including frequent use of slow-motion dives, the game serves as an homage to classic action titles. Inmost is a puzzle platformer told through three characters whose stories are interwoven into a single somber narrative. Each character introduces a different gameplay approach, ranging from careful exploration to stealth and controlled combat, while maintaining a consistent tone throughout the game. The world is centered on a decaying castle and its connected environments, encouraging methodical exploration and attention to detail. The game lasts about 3 hours, which is rather short, but it's still a good pixel art platformer. Sparklite is an action-adventure roguelite set in the vibrant and whimsical world of Geodia, where players take on the role of a hero fighting to save the environment from the clutches of a greedy baron and his mining industry. The game features top-down action combat where players can wield a variety of gadgets, guns, and gear to take on an array of enemies and colossal bosses. Central to the game is the power of Sparklite, an energy source that players must harness to fight enemies, solve puzzles, and grow stronger over time. Along the way, players can meet and befriend the inhabitants of Geodia, helping them build the Refuge, a safe haven that serves as a hub for crafting and upgrades. The game's colorful aesthetic and ever-changing world provide a rich backdrop to the roguelite experience. Crashlands 2 is the sequel to the well-received survival RPG Crashlands. Building on the foundation laid by its predecessor, Crashlands 2 introduces a host of new mechanics, enhanced graphics that maintain the original's distinctive visual style, and an array of additional features. You return to Wanopa as Flux Dubs, navigating an alien world full of quirky creatures, lively ecosystems, and intriguing stories. Combat in Crashlands 2 offers endless variety. Craft gadgets, mix elixirs, and use traps, stealth, or ranged weapons to suit your playstyle. Hyperlight Drifter is an action-adventure RPG that pays homage to the best 16-bit classics while introducing modernized mechanics and designs. Set in a savage land steeped in treasure and blood, the game immerses players in a world teeming with forgotten knowledge, lost technologies, and broken histories. Players assume the role of a drifter, tasked with collecting these remnants of the past while grappling with their own haunting illness. Exploration is a central aspect of Hyperlight Drifter, with players traversing a sprawling world filled with branching paths and secrets waiting to be uncovered. The game's non-linear design encourages players to chart their own course through the land of buried time, uncovering hidden treasures and unraveling the mysteries that lie beneath the surface. Fury Unleashed is a roguelite action platformer that takes players into the pages of a living comic book, blending fast-paced shooting mechanics with roguelite progression. One of the game's standout features is its comic book setting. Every level is presented as a series of interconnected comic panels, with ink serving as a vital resource for progression. The gameplay encourages mastery through a unique combo system. Defeating enemies in quick succession unleashes powerful abilities, allowing skilled players to rip through levels without taking damage. This system rewards precision and strategy, culminating in the possibility of completing the entire game in one epic combo for those who can play flawlessly. Oniro is an action RPG built around fast combat and steady progression. It takes cues from older hack-and-slash games without copying their excess. Progression is driven by a deep multi-class system built around an interconnected skill tree. You can unlock and combine numerous classes, shaping characters through shared abilities and passive bonuses. It's a decent ARPG, but it leaves a lot to be desired compared to its predecessor, Anima, which is still the superior game. Haak is an ultra-stylish, post-apocalyptic Metroidvania game. In the desolate landscapes of Haak, players will encounter various adversaries, including mutated animals and giant mechanical bugs. The gameplay mechanics involve more than simple running and jumping, with a quick-fire hookshot emerging as a primary means of traversing through the landscape. This dynamic tool adds an extra layer of strategy to both exploration and combat, contributing to the game's overall appeal. Dredge is another great mobile port which blends fishing, exploration, and mystery into a tense maritime adventure. Set in the isolated Maros archipelago, it challenges you to captain a trawler through treacherous waters, uncovering hidden secrets and eerie dangers. The gameplay revolves around upgrading your vessel, completing quests, and catching over 125 unique sea creatures. Each island offers distinct characters, stories, and environments. Nightfall brings a shift in tone. The fog cloaks dangers, from sharp rocks to something far more sinister lurking in the darkness. Maintaining your boat and mental fortitude is key as you venture into deep-sea trenches and navigate to far-off islands. Almora Darkosen is a retro-style hack-and-slash RPG set on a massive fantasy island. The game offers deep exploration, varied environments, and a mix of combat, crafting, and questing. The world is packed with different locations, forests, swamps, dungeons, and towns, all filled with hidden treasures and secrets. Combat feels classic with a variety of weapons, armor, and magical abilities. You can mine for ores, dig up hidden chests, and upgrade items into rare or legendary versions. A mercenary system allows hiring companions to help in battle, but keeping them alive requires strategy. Equipment comes in multiple classes, and skills follow fire or poison paths. The inventory system system is reminiscent of Diablo with item deposits for storage. TMNT Shredder's Revenge is a fast retro-style beat-em-up built for quick action. You play as a turtle or side character, with each character having their own fighting style, animations, and special moves, keeping the gameplay fresh across more than a dozen stages. The pixel art looks great, packed with color and detail that channels the 80s cartoon. The story mode has a new plot, but it sticks close to the tone of the original show. It's an all-around great beat-em-up. Planet of Lana is a narrative-driven puzzle adventure where you play as Lana, a young girl traveling across a hand-painted sci-fi world after her home is disrupted by an unfamiliar force. Landscapes feel calm but uneasy, with machines and creatures reshaping places that once felt balanced. Gameplay centers on environmental puzzles, platforming, and stealth. Lana is accompanied by Mui, a responsive animal companion whose abilities are essential to solving puzzles and overcoming obstacles. It is a rather short but great platformer and very much of a hidden gem. Dysmantle is an open-world action RPG, immersing players in a post-apocalyptic world where survival means breaking everything in sight. Set on a desolate island devoid of human survivors, players assume the role of a lone protagonist emerging from the underground after years of isolation. As players venture forth into the vast open world of the game, they are met with a myriad of challenges and opportunities for exploration. From battling monstrous adversaries to establishing outposts, players must adapt and strategize to survive in this hostile environment. The game's handcrafted open world is ripe for exploration, with hidden mysteries waiting to be uncovered in every corner. Halls of Torment is an action roguelike game which brings retro RPG vibes with fast-paced horde survival gameplay. You pick a hero, dive into dungeon stages, and face endless waves of enemies. Each run feels fresh as you unlock new abilities, traits, and items to customize builds. The art style, inspired by late 90s games, is detailed and nostalgic without being outdated. The game balances action and strategy, letting you strengthen your hero between runs through meta progression. The runs last about 30 minutes, making it perfect for mobile.
Well, that's it guys, hope that helps. This video covers controller supported games generically. If you want to know about more, you can check out my genre videos that covers even more games, some of which can be played with controller support. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.